Hello and welcome, everyone. Good morning, Washington. My name is Heidi Posada, and I will be presenting this very brief overview of Workers' Comp Group Retro Program, which is a unique program in Washington State. So we're happy to have you all joining us. I'm guessing this will be about 25-minute presentation. We will be sending you a recording of this presentation later on this afternoon, so you will get a copy of it. If you do have any technical issues, please, we do have a chat box, so any technical issues you can go there. Or if you do have any questions about the presentation I'm doing, you can also write questions. I might not get to it during this presentation, but I will certainly follow up with you afterwards and answer any questions that you might have. So real quick, I think a big reason why some of you might be joining is this big number, $19 million our Retro Group has reimbursed to nonprofits in Washington State since 1991. So the purpose of this presentation is to review, first of all, what the Retro Group is and where's that $19 million coming from. And then just important factors in choosing a retro program, some special things that specifically about 501c agencies group and how you can qualify. So again, it's just an overview of what a retro group is and specifically what we do. So first of all, what is a retro group? If you've only been in Washington State as a professional, maybe you don't know that there's a lot of other ways to do this and that you're pretty unique. And if you are new to Washington State, you might be very, very curious about how they do their workers' comp. Nationwide, most states do can get their workers' comp through private insurance. Washington State is one of only a handful of states that is a state-controlled workers' comp system. And for many years, there was no way for an employer to really to have any option to get refunds or really control what they were paying into the workers' comp system. So the way the state runs the program is you're assessed a premium, and it's through the Department of Labor and Industries. And so by joining a retro program, it does not change that premium. So if you are part of a retro program, you're still paying into the state premium, but the retro program gives you an opportunity to get refunds. So just keep in mind that the premium stays the same. It might decrease, and I can explain that to you as we go on, but you are still paying into LNI's workers' comp program in a retro group. So retro is short for retrospective rating, and being part of a retro group is the only way that you can get any refunds for what you're putting into your workers' comp. So some choose to do their own retro program. This is not advised unless you're a very, very large nonprofit. Companies like Microsoft or Boeing might be their own retro group, but in most cases, it's not advised unless, again, you have a very huge organization or huge payroll that you can afford to take the risk of doing your own retro group. So what is a retro program? Well, a retro program, says it right here, is a group of employers recognized by Washington State that can potentially earn refunds on premiums for controlling claims costs and preventing workplace injuries. So we are, 501c Services provides the only nonprofit retro program. So I know there's some retro programs that are for automobile industry or for construction industry. This is even some maybe I know there's at least one Chamber of Commerce that has a retro program, but we are unique that we are specifically for nonprofits only. So it's important when you are looking at joining a retro program some important things to know. First of all, the performance, your refund is based on an entire group's experience. So the way it works is the state of Washington is going to, so say we have 200 members in our retro group, and I'm just making up a number, this is low, but say that whole group pays $1 million in premium for a year. And at the end of the year, they only pay out $500,000 in claims. So we're going to get a portion of that $500,000, the difference between the million and 500. We get a portion of that back to disperse to our members. So you really want to look at, make sure that that the group you're participating in is managed well, and controlling the costs. So you'll see that our membership requirements are, we're looking to make sure that you will help our group in performing and also controlling our costs. So just a little bit, now I'm just going to give you a quick overview of our specific retro group program. We were established back in 1991, so not long after the retro groups started being allowed in Washington State. Again, we're the only one exclusive to nonprofits, with almost 200 nonprofits participating. And our plan year goes from October through September. So this is important to know, because that means for you to participate in the full year of our retro group, we would need you to sign up by September 15th, which makes right now really a fantastic time to start evaluating this option, getting the numbers we need, seeing if you qualify, and then having paperwork ready to go by September 15th for an October 1st membership. Again, as we stated at the beginning, we have reimbursed nonprofits over $19 million since 1991. So that means all of those years that made up $1 million premium paid by the total group, we've in total been able to return over $19 million. And we work with a company called ICM. They're based in Lacey, Washington, and they do the claims management and a lot of the safety program for the 501c agency's retro group. So in addition to getting that $19 million back, or a portion of that $19 million, and in addition to getting a part of your premium returned to you, we do have a number of benefits. And what ICM brings to the table, first of all, claims management. They can work with any workers' comp claim you receive. They can even work with LNI to see if a claim is closed, working on getting claims closed, working on keeping the cost of the claim as low as possible. They will also do a number of safety trainings, especially now in the time of COVID. They're out there helping their customers make sure their workplace is safe, not only for customers, but also for employees in the offices. So a number of services that you will receive as a member of our retro group. So let's talk numbers, right? Could we get all these services and refunds for free? Well, there is a 6% annual fee that is charged. So we look at what your annual premium is, and you are charged 6% of that. Our goal is, when we get our refund from the state, our goal is to disperse that first 6% to all of our members first. So especially if you've had a good performing year, we like to disperse that 6%. So our goal is that you really don't have to pay if we have good years, and good years we can do that. Our average return, as you can see here, has been 12%. So what we do is, after that 6% is paid back to all of our members, we distribute the additional money based on your performance. So if you had a really good year, you paid a lot more in premium, had no claims, you're likely to get even more of that, well over the 6% that you paid into the fees. In addition, the claims tend to be lower once you're set up with ICM. Claims tend to be lower, which in return ends up lowering what you're paying for your premium. So for most cases, what we see in our members, they are getting money back. I talk to a lot of people who are members of our program, and they say, I know it's great. We have this service. Really, what I know is we get this check at the end of the year, which is a great thing, especially for nonprofits right now to be getting any kind of money. But it is kind of you're saving money in most cases on your premium, plus you're getting money back. In addition to giving money back to our members, every year we do, or most years we do, try and take a little bit of the savings and put it into a safety net, which is there in case there's a bad year, in case there's a year that our members pay $1 million in premium and $1.5 million in claims. LNI is able to charge us a little bit for that. So we do have a safety net that covers up to 2 full years of the highest they can penalize us. So we do have that safety net to help our members avoid having to pay for that. So how do you qualify for retro program participation? Well, it's quite simple. For our group, you have to be a 501c3. So I just recently had a church reach out to us, and unfortunately, we don't take churches unless you're a 501c3. You have to be current with your LNI premium, so they're not going to start getting you refunds if you haven't paid up all of your premiums. We do look for a minimum premium of $15,000, and that's an annual premium of $15,000, and a a 2-year loss ratio below 1.0. So it's likely you might not know. You might not know if all of these apply to you. We do have a very simple form that you can complete, and I can email it to you either sometime today or later this week. It's our authorization form. Once it's completed, we send it to LNI, and then they will provide the information for us. So we can get the information on your premium and what your loss ratio has been to see if you do qualify for the retro program. And I do just want to mention that part of our program does require kept on salary. And here's a slide that explains that. We can certainly go more in detail if you choose to enroll in the retro group. What we have seen is by doing the kept on salary that it does keep the claims lower for the group, and it usually keeps the organization's premium lower as well. So it's usually the most cost-effective way to manage an injury on someone who's out of work because of an injury. So if you do sign up for the retro group, as I mentioned right at the beginning, that you want to look for a retro group that's cost-effective. So one thing is, it is a commitment. You can't opt out in the middle of a retro year. The only time you can opt out is the beginning of October. So it is a time commitment of at least a year. And really, you do have to, you've kept that loss ratio below 1.0, and you have to continue to do that. So we do, at times, unfortunately, if organizations start to have higher claims and a loss ratio of above 1.0, we do at times have to ask them to leave. What we like to do is keep them on with our services, help them get those claims back down, and then get them, get them back into the retro group. And that's what most of them choose to do. But you do have to understand and keep those claims low. Now I do have since we're all muted here, I'm not going to be taking any questions, but you will be getting an email from me later today. And here's my contact information. You will be also getting this. My email will be included in the well, the email, I'm sorry, the email will come from me, so you'll have that access as well. And I'll also reach out to each of you and make sure that you have the authorization form needed in case you do want to pursue this. So I know this was a real quick overview. Please don't hesitate to reach out, and thank you for joining us today.
Good job.
Oh, there it is. I'm like, how do I stop recording?